let it drop. Let it drop.
Senator Morris.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, Senate Bill 256 is one which consolidates the civil clerk and the criminal clerk in Orleans Parish.
The city of New Orleans just elected a clerk. I think we're talking about protecting the integrity of the voters of the city of New Orleans. You're respecting the will of the people. You're respecting the democratic process that we all stand by. Before he can even be sworn in, there's an opportunity, your bill, to eliminate that seat.
The effective date without any other language is August 1st, 2026.
My name is Calvin Duncan. I'm the clerk-elect of the Criminal District Court in New Orleans. New Orleans has a right to govern itself. We have a charter. And the citizens of New Orleans overwhelmingly say that I want to give this person a chance. He can make a difference. What this bill does, it says, thank you, but you waste your time. It disenfranchises everybody.
Mr. Duncan spent 4 decades fighting a system that failed him. In fact, it failed all of us as Louisianians. Mr. Duncan's records were lost. His innocence was ignored. And that kept him imprisoned while the evidence of his exoneration existed in the very files that this office is responsible for keeping. I really want that to sit with you all. Because if that was a family member of yours, I believe you would find it completely reprehensible. Calvin Duncan was chosen by 68% of the people who came to the polls in a direct contested runoff election. This was not a narrow win. This is a mandate. That is the democratic will of New Orleans, the people of New Orleans. They expressed it clearly and without ambiguity. This bill tells those voters that their votes don't count, and that a governor elected by 16% of eligible Louisianians can reach into their city before their chosen clerk is even sworn in and restructure the institution he was duly elected to lead. This is outrageous.
During this campaign, our Attorney General sent Calvin Duncan a letter in which she said that if he continued to, and this is my word, accurately describe himself as exonerated, he would face further action. One cannot help but wonder, is this the action that she was describing?
Send this bill back where it's supposed to go. Flush it. Thank you.
So with that, Senate Bill 256 is reported favorably.
Now, before I even take office, they pass a bill, at least out of the committee, to take that away from me. Something that I've been working towards for really mostly all my life, to make that office a better office so that what happened to me never happened to nobody else.
No matter how deflating this was today, it does not stop me from continuing to doing what we're doing. And what we're fighting for is, I saw my father and my grandfather fight for it, and here we are 80 years later. We're still fighting for the same thing. And one person can have the power to put his thumb on you and you squash like a bug. But our motto is no surrender, no retreat. I got out of prison in 2003 and I started coming to the Capitol around 2004. And at that time, I didn't have my voting rights, so I could just sit there and learn.
Well, Mr. Duncan, if you don't mind, would you allow the
Can I make a
speaker
request? I was in prison with this brother, so I'd like for him to sit here because
then we'll
this is
do that.
inspiration.
Sure. All right. Well, go ahead, Mr. Yancey. Identify yourself.
My name is Checo Yancey. I'm the policy director with VOTE. I'm a former incarcerated person myself. I put myself there. But I was told that prison would punish you, correct you, rehabilitate you, and allow you to come back out and make something of your life. Meeting Calvin inside, he's done that. So now we're going back to 1836 when Massa come and speak and say, I don't want the boy to be there. And then somebody comes up, put a bill in, and eliminates a whole office that the people of New Orleans voted for. I guarantee you, Calvin right now is devastated. He may not show it, but his emotions showed in his testimony earlier. He will bounce back from this because guess what? He's a good researcher, he's a good litigator, and I tell you this is not over with.
So we are from change to change. And today we're going to do something a bit different. We're going to give you guys the opportunity to go a little bit behind the scenes and get to know our folks. And we're going to kick it off with our producer, Mr. Don Mitchell himself. And we will also hear from Chachi and some of our vote members and staff. Hi, Don.
Hello.
This is his first time with us, y'all. First time we could get him to come on screen because he's usually behind the camera.
Yes, yes.
How are you?
I'm feeling okay.
You all right?
I'm feeling okay. Kind of tired, being busy.
Yeah.
Doing things in the community. Helping people out, and just trying to stay focused, and just trying to live righteous.
That could be a hard job.
Yes.
That's a heck of a job.
Yes.
That's a heck of a job.
Yes.
So besides from change to change, what are you up to nowadays?
Like I say, I've been producing votes. I love this organization. I love what this organization represents, and I'm just trying to live day by day, one day at a time.
And guys, I'd like you guys to know that if he seems a little down, I don't know if he's speaking about how he helps his neighbors, and he told me earlier that he found that one of his neighbors just passed that was really close to him, so you could tell it's weighing on him. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, my next door neighbor, he passed away. I try to help him as much as I can.
Sorry for your loss.
Yes.
We'll keep you in prayer for
Thank
sure. And I hear you keep saying, yeah, I've been doing this for 18 years. You have been working here at AOC, helping
Yes.
to produce many shows.
Yes.
So what are your plans beyond once you get to your retirement?
I plan on, I'm just ready to move on to another chapter in my life. My daughter's going to be graduating. She's going to 12th grade next year. Thank God.
I was just with her Saturday at the pop-up event.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I want to focus more on my family, focus more on healing, focus more on my relationship with God and everything,
Some healing.
Yes,
Some healing.
kind of go through some healing processes.
Yes.
Because without God, there's nothing is possible. I mean, I am just in awe of him, from everything that I went through in my life, I have an up and down relationship with God. I resented God for years. When my uncle killed my dad when I was 7 years old, I resented God. I used to go to Jimmy Swagger Church, and looking back on it, I realized, I would go to church. The Word of God was instilled in me, but I had this resentment. I had this anger,
Right.
that drove me to suicide attempts, alcoholism, drug abuse. It got so bad, when they came out with the yellow and blue make green Ziploc bag. I used to put gasoline in a bag and dump it out, and it held the fumes. I was in a really dark place, you know, that led to me, you know, going to jail a few times, and, you know, God just gave me a second chance in life, you know. Sometimes we, as people, we lose focus on the things to be grateful for, because I went from homeless, sleeping in empty houses, wearing the same clothes 2 weeks in a row, not taking baths, to God blessing me with a 2-bedroom townhouse, you know, and it's just, we take for granted so many things in life, you know, and I'm just extremely, extremely grateful, you know, that on April 16th of next month, I celebrate not smoking marijuana since 1993. Wow. I gave up crack, cocaine, and alcoholism April 16, 1995. Which will be 31 years. I kind of lost track. You know, I gave up cigarettes January 1st, 2000 at the millennium. And cigarettes was really hard, you know. So, you know, I'm not perfect. I'm flawed, you know, and I'm just extremely grateful to be here. I survived drive-bys, you know. I'm just extremely grateful to be here.
So you understand what we mean by second chance in various areas.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you know.
Well, one of the reason that I really asked you to be on the show, bro, is to give you your flowers while you're here. You know, you got all this conversation in the air about retiring and all of that. You know what I mean? We don't want to hear that, but you know, just in case that happens, you know, I'd like to give you your flowers, bro, because you were so instrumental in establishing this from change to change. And truthfully, I really don't think that it would have happened without you.
Right.
Thank you.
Right? And the way you stepped up to be the director. You know, when they said we definitely needed one, you just stepped in and said, I got this.
He sure did.
Yes.
He really
we
did.
really appreciate that.
Yes.
Man.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
You know.
Thank you for these. What season are we in now? Six seasons.
6.
From change to change. I know there's some TV shows that make it that long, and here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Getting better, progress.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Progress.
Yes.
And we definitely owe the majority of it to you, because you've kept us right and kept us on the straight and narrow, you know, because I didn't know the first thing about a TV show. We didn't, you know, we were building the plane as we were flying, but you were like the pilot, like, I got y'all, just sit back, I got this.
Yes.
Follow my lead, and we appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We
And you were always a good step ahead, because it was your idea because you knew that, you know, you were getting tired, I guess.
Yes.
And so you came up with the idea to actually take Dr. Samika under your wing and teach her the backside of this.
Right.
So I see your strategic, you know, mindset. Right. You know, but I don't know if we gonna actually allow it to happen. You know.
Well.
We talking with you about it, but we.
I've seen AOC. I first moved to Lafayette in, I think it was October 2007, right after Hurricane Katrina and Rita. You know, that was when all the They was bringing in all the FEMA trailers, you know, New Orleans was displaced, you know, and that was, oh my God. I had worked in New Orleans for about a week, right after Hurricane Katrina, because we was clearing things out. But back then, the mayor didn't order an evacuation. But when the other hurricane, when Rita came right behind it, he realized the heat that he took for not ordering people, protecting people in New Orleans to get out. You know, he was like, everybody got to go. You got to go when the other hurricane came right behind it. You know, I moved to Lafayette in '07, and I became a member of AOC, and that wasn't when they was down there, but they came such a long way, you know, because we could like record a show, you know, we could export it in like an hour, like a 30-minute show like this here. When you finish editing and everything, you had to wait like 4 hours just to export it. You see, so I can't.
So equipment, technology advanced, everything.
Yes.
The whole building advanced.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are so glad that we gave you an opportunity to get to know a little bit about Don. So check out these next clips to learn more about your host.
When my mom got gunned down and left paralyzed, we lost everything, and I became homeless. And this park, the bathroom in the back, became my home for about 3 or 4 months. As a kid, I was a teenager. This is the bathroom, bro. I was laying down right here, bro. Right here, and the water, the rainwater, had me soaking wet. Oh, this is so, man. I had 4 younger brothers and sisters, and my mom was paralyzed, and I had brought them to the homeless shelter, but they could only take 5 people. And so I couldn't stay. So I just walked the streets all night long until the night came, and I found a place to sleep. Living in the back of the park is where I made up my mind that I was gonna fix my mom's situation or our situation, even if it killed me. The only thing that I wasn't aware of was that meant that I was willing to kill as well. I really wasn't a bad kid. I just didn't have any guidance. So no one ever told me that I was smart. No one ever told me I could go to college. I never had anyone to show me anything. So what I did, I learned from my environment. And in this neighborhood, in this Truman neighborhood, there were pimps, there were drug dealers. So you become your environment. You start participating in it, you start contributing to it, and before you know it, you caught in that web. Through all of that, you develop a hate. And at some point, your weight catches up to that hate. And that's when you become what they call a monster, you know, a menace to society. And so I started selling drugs right here from this park, and that evoluted into me becoming, you know, the dope man around here, and then defending myself from an armed robbery where I unfortunately killed the guy. You know, when I think back of how that could have been prevented, and I had an example or someone that was available just to hear my fears, just to hear my tears, just to talk, just to answer questions I have about, you know, my masculinity, just about why I don't have a daddy, like why God don't love me. The change took place while I was in prison. My God introduced himself to me. It took all of that for me to become the person that I am today. You know, that's why I worked so hard to fix myself, to build myself, you know, and truthfully, that person is the person I needed when all of this stuff was happening to me. I wrote a book called Life Lies. That book is the blueprint to surviving what I went through. You don't have to jump off of a cliff to try and fix your situation because other people have done that for you. Learn to understand the true definition of love, and that means to protect and provide for what you come from and those that come from you, because we can't continue to leave it like this. For Vote, I'm a Lafayette chapter organizer, and I'm the one that's out here educating people on voting, educating people on the importance of voting, and letting them know that there is a way out, that there is hope.
The school to prison pipeline is a name given to the policies and practices that push kids out of educational environments and into both youth and adult incarceration. It is very prevalent here in Louisiana. The school suspensions here in Louisiana almost mirror the incarceration rates in Louisiana, and that they predominantly affect three groups: students in poverty, Black and brown students, and special education students. Those are the students that we see most pushed out of our classrooms and their educational opportunity cut short and pushed into the criminal legal system. When I first moved to Louisiana, I would say 8 years ago, this was something I was aware of, but I didn't really see its impact until I got here, and I started working at the University of Louisiana Lafayette in teacher education as a professor, and seeing the way that so many people thought discipline and suspension was the cure for student behavior and education. And this is the first place that I've ever been that has a person at a school whose explicit role is disciplinarian. No other state have I been where there is a person at a school whose sole job it is to discipline students. And so I became really curious about why this is and what are the impacts and what about Louisiana ties the school to prison pipeline to incarceration so strongly. And it led me to a lot of work with Vote. I think mass incarceration says more about us as a people of what we're willing to do to each other than it does about people who are in prisons. People who are in prisons don't have any power. They are completely subject to everybody outside of the prison and outside of incarceration. And so it really is a story about what we, who are not incarcerated, are willing to do to others. And for me, that's a really, really important story to interrogate. That's a really important story to think deeply about as we think about our humanity and who we are as a people in a community. And so for me, I see it as a story of decision makers. Who is making the decisions? Who has the leverage and the possibility to change things in Louisiana and across the U.S.? And it's not just a story of incarcerated people, it's a story of all of us.
My story is drug addiction, and that led me to commit crimes. I actually been arrested 40 times, and I've been in prison 3 times. And a lot of times I was homeless and I felt hopeless until one day, about 5 years ago, I felt like I had enough and something just clicked and like I knew I was done. My main purpose in life is to raise awareness, to help other people realize that they have greatness on the inside of them, especially people who's been incarcerated, who's been through things like drug addiction or homelessness, who maybe have self-esteem issues, they have a negative outlook about themselves, just to try to let them know, man, that you could do anything you want to if you put your mind to it and if you put the work in. Just getting involved with a community organization like Vote, can keep your mind occupied to help you focus on something positive, trying to make a change in the world. 'Cause I've gotten a lot of chances in life, so sometimes you don't get a second chance. So do the best with what you got.
Being a wife of an incarcerated individual is, it can be difficult. Having to go and visit and being away from them is really hard. It goes beyond him, honestly. My brother was incarcerated for 13 years, and he was being treated unfairly. He was in solitary confinement, didn't know why he was in solitary confinement. They were abusing him, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that feeling. So being the voice of the voiceless is something that's passionate to me. I don't believe in unfair treatment of people that are incarcerated. Just because they are there, they're still human beings. So Vote is amazing. I love what they stand for. I love the people that work here. Anything that they are a part of, I want to be a part of. They have helped me, and I guarantee they can help y'all.
We're about to come into a session that's unbelievable. I was looking at the bill tracker today, and if you don't speak up, they will do what they want to do. Then we're going to have to go down to the Capitol, and we're going to have to testify. And if we don't come out and testify and make a record of it, then that's what? They will do what they want to do. How many of you in here know who your state representative is? That actually know your state representative. You know, I tell people all the time, you should have those people on speed dial. See, I know right now, I believe I could call my state representative right now and I can get her on the phone. When they come and ask you for your vote, they're all up on you. Am I right?
Yeah. Right.
They're in your face and everything, but as soon as the election is over with, they disappear.
Right.
That is our fault. If we don't fight right now, this may be our last fight.
I miss my dad being in my life completely. 0 to 14 in jail, 14 they let him out 6 months later, he had passed away. So that's why the folks with vote will always be number one for me, period, no matter what. These folks take the time out their schedule, time away from their family. They're at the Capitol, they're having meetings, they're having protest march, they're hosting expungement clinics. They care about folks, and life is short. So you just try and help people. Nobody's perfect. And it's my job to help fight to make sure that people have that second chance.